City a night of pure chaos.
This is your warning. Leave the area. Disperse.
People pushing the limit with police.
But yesterday, organizers pitched participants in the largest peaceful march yet on a new strategy, one they believe to tie up traffic all over St. Louis.
We must work, in the words of New York City Police Commissioner Bill Bratton, to really see each other. Perhaps the reason we struggle as a nation is because we've come to see only what we represent at face value instead of who we are. We simply must see the people we serve. But the seeing needs to flow in both directions. Citizens also need to really see the men and women of law enforcement. They need to see what the police see through their windshields and as they walk down the street. They need to see the risks and dangers of law enforcement encountered on every typical late-night shift. They need to understand the difficult and frightening work that they do to keep us safe. And they need to give them the respect and the space they need to do their job well and properly. If they take the time to do that, what they will see are officers who are human, who are overwhelmingly doing the right thing for the right reasons, and who are too often operating in communities and facing challenges most of us choose to drive around.
I am Mobile, Alabama Police Chief James Barber. In 2014, the civil unrest, riots, and murders of police officers began to spread across the United States. FBI Special Agent in Charge Robert Lasky, United States Attorney Kenyon Brown, and I looked to our communities for ways to preserve peace and dignity. Community leaders, pastors, and citizens identified encounters between law enforcement officers and young people that can escalate into unpleasant words, unplanned arrests, or even harm to citizens or police officers as a major concern. They said bringing law enforcement officers and young people together to learn about each other and how to be safe would make a big difference. We developed a program that bridges the gap between youth and law enforcement. It builds mutual respect between young people and police officers. Police-citizen cooperation and plays an important role in fostering the trust that is necessary for our communities to be safe. The program is one of several programs that are helping the Mobile Police Department reach the ambitious goal of making Mobile the safest city in America with respect for everyone. We would like to share it with you.
The program implements FBI Director Comey's statement that young people and law enforcement officers need to see each other as human beings and understand their different points of view. They need to explain the importance of the law enforcement-citizen relationship, demonstrate their focus on maintaining public safety, explain their obligation to control encounters so everybody stays safe, and educate them as to the laws they operate under. In addition, they must also dispel myths associated with law enforcement. They need to help young people forget the violent video games where the dead come back to life, and help them understand the harsh realities in the permanent destruction delivered by weapons such as powerful homemade bombs, as well as handguns that maim and kill both the citizens and law enforcement officers. The personal contact with the officers, their willingness to listen to the students' point of view, and the respect they show the students creates a candid two-way communication that replaces notions of injustice and discrimination with experiences of fairness and equality.
Bringing people together is a powerful force. When they see each other, talk to each other, hear about each other's dreams and frustrations, they realize that they have a lot in common. The program does exactly that. It does it across the divide between young people and adults, between students and law enforcement officers. The most important thing about the program is that when young people and law enforcement officers are in a non-adversarial situation, new thinking occurs. Officers realize that the experience of young people or their friends that set their thinking about law enforcement are actually real to them and may need to be replaced with good experiences.
We match the program's agenda to the times we live in. The initial discussion goes right at the subject that concerns everybody, the use of force, and the escalation that leads to the use of deadly force. The law and its application in different circumstances are reviewed. Law enforcement situation control techniques used to lower stress levels for all involved and de-escalate situations are described. Under normal circumstances, law enforcement officers can't enter a residence without a warrant.
Mobile Police. How you doing, sir? Got a domestic violence call.
But if they have been told about or see indications of violence or injury, they must enter to ensure the safety of everyone present. Standing in their way or arguing with them may result in arrest, as happened in this scenario. Notice how smoothly the encounter goes when the individual cooperates and moves out of the way. From the law enforcement officer's point of view, there is no such thing as a routine traffic stop. Following an officer's instructions at a traffic stop is vital. The law enforcement officer doesn't know this driver's intentions. Refusal to follow instructions can lead to soft contact or hard contact, or even arrest when all the officer intended to do was ask him to use his seatbelt. Complying with officer's instructions means a quick and less stressful traffic stop and may save a life.
Thank you, officer.
Thank you guys. Drive safely, all right?
Yes, sir.
Law enforcement officers who stop young people on the street are often responding to calls from citizens reporting suspicious behavior. Running from a street encounter with law enforcement officers raises officers' concerns. Relaxing and answering their questions truthfully will keep you and the officers safe. Seeing their teacher or chaperone experience how quickly a situation can escalate from less than lethal force to deadly force is a revelation to most young people. They are amazed at the short time officers have to make a decision to use or not to use lethal force.
The program teaches young people the proper way to file complaints. Law enforcement agencies have strict procedures that require careful review of all complaints, and they take action when warranted. Young people also learn that the FBI is responsible for investigating civil rights violations and how to pursue complaints related to excessive use of force.
Special Agent in Charge Robert Lasky, U.S. Attorney Kenyon Brown, and I hope you will consider the program as part of your organization's community involvement